I was recently interviewed as part of a podcast where I gave an abundance of brilliant tips to help people like you pass their job interviews at the first attempt. Here is that podcast in its full. Make sure you watch it from start to finish. You're going to love this. Here we go.
So Richard, tell me, what advice would you give someone who gets nervous during interviews?
So for anybody who gets nervous at job interviews, they can do two things. Number one, they can practice their answer to the question, tell me about yourself, several times before they go to interview. Sit down in front of a friend or relative, or even in front of a mirror, and practice giving your answer to that question, tell me about yourself. They should do this because the tell me about yourself question is going to be the first one they have to answer. That's when they are going to be the most nervous. And if they can give an articulate and confident answer to that question, it will really help to reduce interview nerves. The second thing people can do to calm interview nerves is to always remember a job interview is simply a meeting between you and a potential employer to find out whether you are suitable for them and they are suitable for you. If you think of it as a meeting between you and a potential employer, that would really help to calm your interview nerves.
What research should someone carry out before their job interview?
You should always research two things before an interview. Number one, research the job description. Have a look at the job description and in particular, focus on the skills and qualities the employer is looking for. Then, when they say to you, what are your greatest strengths? Align your strengths with those featured on that job description. The second thing you should research is the company itself. Go on their website About Us page, find out a little bit about their history and also the products and services they offer. You should also follow a company on social media and find out their latest news stories. Then, when the hiring manager says to you at your interview, what do you know about our company? You can answer that question with confidence.
How early should someone arrive before their job interview?
If it's an in-person, face-to-face interview, always arrive 10 minutes before the interview. Sit in the reception and look at the job description before you go into the interview. And also, make sure you are polite to the receptionist. A lot of times, the hiring manager will speak to the receptionist at the end of the interview and ask them what you were like when you first entered the building. Now, if it's a video or online interview, you should make sure you log on 5 minutes before the interview is due to start.
What are your best tips for interview technique?
The best tips I can give for great interview technique are, number one, make sure you sit down in the chair with your palms resting on the top of your knees. Make sure you sit upright and don't forget to smile. And it is okay to use hand movements periodically during your interview. But above all, do not fidget and make sure you look the interviewer in the eyes when responding to their questions.
What are the biggest mistakes people make in their job interviews?
The two biggest mistakes people make in job interviews is, first of all, failing to find out enough about the company they are applying to join. That's because they are probably applying for lots of different jobs and they don't really care which company they work for. That is a big mistake. Research the company before your interview to increase your chances of success. The second biggest mistake people make in job interviews is they are negative about former employers. When the hiring manager says to them, why do you want to leave your job? They sometimes say, I want to leave because there's a toxic work environment, or I didn't get on with my boss or co-workers. That's a big mistake. Never be negative about former employers, bosses, or co-workers.
What should someone do if they can't answer an interview question?
If you can't answer an interview question, you have two options. Option number one, you can ask the interviewer to revisit the question at the end of the interview. That gives you more time to consider your answer, and the chances are they will forget to ask you the question anyway. And the second option is you can just say, I don't know that answer, but I will research it and contact you when I get home from the interview.
What type of questions will come up in the job interview?
There are typically 3 different types of questions a candidate will have to answer at a job interview. The first type are motivational questions. Why do you want this job? Tell me about yourself. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time, and what are your greatest strengths? The second type of question is research-based questions. What do you know about our company? The third type of question is called behavioural interview questions. These are questions that assess how you have dealt with previous situations in the workplace. Tell me about a time when you worked on a team, and tell me about a time when you delivered excellent customer service.
How should someone answer the interview question, tell me about yourself?
Well, the interview question, tell me about yourself, is going to be the first one you will have to answer at your job interview. I recommend people use the seat method for answering that question, tell me about yourself. They can remember the seat method because they will be sitting down in a seat. S stands for the skills they have that match that job description. E is the educational qualifications and experience they can bring to the role. A stands for any achievements you have gained in your life so far, and T is the type of person you are and what you plan to do in the role to give the hiring manager a great return on their investment.
What are behavioural interview questions, and how should these be answered?
Behavioural interview questions are used to assess how you have dealt with previous situations you are likely going to encounter in the workplace. So some good examples of behavioural interview questions include, tell me about a time when you worked on a team, tell me about a time when you had to work under pressure, tell me about a time when you had a conflict with a coworker, and tell me about a time when you disagreed with your boss. Now, whenever you answer behavioural interview questions, always use the STAR technique, S-T-A-R. So S stands for the situation you were faced with. T stands for the task that needed your attention. A stands for the action you took to achieve the task. And R stands for the results following your actions. And a really good tip is to always make sure the result is a positive outcome following your actions.
What should you wear to a job interview?
You should always wear a smart and professional looking outfit for your job interview. You should do this for two reasons. Reason number one, it tells the hiring manager that you care about the job. And number two, it tells the hiring manager you have high standards. Always make an effort in your appearance, and that will really help to build a positive connection with the hiring manager.
Should a candidate take anything with them to an interview?
You should always take with you three things to a job interview. Number one, take your CV or resume with you, and when they say to you, talk me through your resume, you can actually read through it instead of having to memorize its content. The second thing you should take along with you to an interview is any certificates or details of qualifications you have that are suitable for the position. And the third thing you should take with you to your interview is a 30, 60 and 90-day plan of action, which tells the hiring manager what you will do in the position if they hire you. So when they say to you, why should we hire you? You can say, I have a 90-day plan of action that details what I will do in the position, and I would like you to have a copy.
A common interview question is, what are your greatest strengths? So what are the best strengths for interviews?
There are several really good strengths you can give in a job interview. The first one is commercial awareness. This means you have a basic understanding of how a business operates and that you must do a really good job for your employer. The second best strength for job interview is cost consciousness. This means that you take care of company supplies and resources to help the business save money. The third best strength is taking ownership of difficult problems and challenges whenever they occur. Most people leave problems for other people to deal with, but you are going to be the type of person who takes ownership of them. The fourth best strength to give in job interviews is collaboration skills. That means that you work well with other people, you fit quickly into a team, and you contribute to the team's objectives. And finally, the fifth best strength for job interviews is that you take responsibility for your ongoing professional development, which means the employer will always have somebody who can add value to the team and be productive and impactful.
So what's the best answer to the difficult interview question, what is your biggest weakness?
The best weakness you can give in a job interview is one that does not match the job description. That's why you should always read it before your interview. I would say the best weakness to give is to say that you are not very good at public speaking or giving presentations to large groups of people, but this is a skill you want to develop, and if there are any opportunities in the position to give talks and presentations to your team, then you would love to give it a try.
If the hiring manager says you're overqualified for the position, what can you say?
If a hiring manager says to you that they think you're overqualified for the job, simply say this: I fully respect and appreciate your concerns. However, I want to reassure you that I am at the stage in my career when I am ready for this type of work, and I will be fully committed to your organisation long term. My experience and knowledge can actually benefit your organisation. So whenever new people join the company or the team, I am prepared to train them and give them the benefit of my experience and knowledge.
How can someone explain a gap in their work history?
Whenever talking about gaps in your work history, you should always tell the hiring manager how you benefited from the experience. So for example, let's assume I went traveling. I would say this: I took time away from work to go traveling. I did this because I wanted to experience different cultures, languages, and ways of working. And I believe I am a more rounded and diverse individual as a result of that experience. I have now finished my traveling and I'm ready to commit to the workplace long term.
How should someone answer the interview question, why do you want to leave your current job?
When answering that difficult interview question, why do you want to leave your current job, never be negative about your former employer, co-workers, or boss. Instead, be positive about them. So you could say, I want to leave my current job because I am ready for a fresh challenge with a new, forward-thinking and innovative company such as yours, where my skills and qualities will be put to good use and I will get to collaborate with other like-minded professionals. I had a great experience with my employer, but I am now ready for the next chapter of my career, which I hope will be with your company.
What if someone's been fired or laid off from their last job? How should they answer the question, why did you leave your last job?
If you've been fired from your job, always be honest, never lie. Never be dishonest. If you're honest about the fact that you've been fired, the hiring manager will definitely respect you. So you can say, I was fired from my job because I made a mistake. However, I have learned from that experience and I am a better employee as a result. If you've been laid off from your job or made redundant, it is not your fault. Just be honest. I've been laid off. I was made redundant. I am positive about the situation and I am now seeking employment with a new company.
What should someone do if they fail their interview?
If somebody fails a job interview, they should do two things. Number one, they should be positive about the situation. There will be another opportunity for them right around the corner, but they should ask themselves, what did I learn from that interview experience and what can I do next time to improve? And the second thing they should do if they fail their interview is to ask the hiring manager for feedback. Contact them, send them an email and say, how did I perform and what do you recommend I do to improve for next time?
Is it a good idea to ask questions at the end of the interview?
You should always ask questions at the end of an interview. More often than not, people will say, no, I don't have any questions because you covered everything during the interview. That's a big mistake. You should always ask questions that put you across as a caring and ambitious employee. Ask 3 questions. Here's 3 really good ones you can ask. Can you tell me more about the team I would be a part of in this role? What would my success look like in this position in 12 months from now? And what further information do you recommend I read to learn more about your company while I'm waiting to find out the result of my interview?
What can a candidate do to really stand out from the competition at their interview?
So a candidate can do several things to really stand out from the competition and beat everyone else. First of all, they can make sure that their answers are a match for the job description. The second thing they can do is to make sure they wear a smart and professional looking outfit. This shows they care and they have high standards. The third thing they can do is really research the company before their interview. The hiring manager will be impressed by that. The fourth thing they can do is to be positive positive about the job, and also be passionate about the work they carry out. The next thing they can do is to make sure they have 3 smart questions they can ask at the end of their interview. And finally, they should make sure they take along with them a plan of action that details what they are going to do in the role if they get hired. So I hope you enjoyed that podcast and you found it valuable. Now, the next thing to do, if you want to accelerate your learning even further, is make sure you click that link right now in the top right-hand corner of the video, head straight through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can instantly download my 100 brilliant answers to difficult interview questions. It's a fantastic resource. It comes as a PDF guide, which means you can have it in your inbox literally within 2 minutes from now. Make sure you check out that link. Also, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I have put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video. It's always a pleasure and an honor to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best for passing your job interview. Have a great day.